Heard. CRA.au.
When it comes to power, you don't want just okay. You want reliability, performance and confidence every time you fire up your machine. At R&J Batteries, we stock premium battery technology from leading global brands for cars, four-wheel drives, caravans, boats, motorcycles and more. Not sure what you need? Our expert team will match you with the right battery for your vehicle, lifestyle and budget. And get you powered up fast. Visit R&J Batteries today. R&J Batteries. Power like nothing else.
Get your build on a roll with Metroll Ballarat, because Metroll Ballarat is rolling forward with a brand new fleet, servicing a wider area with faster turnarounds. Inside the shed is a new flashings folder and Ballarat's only automated splitter, state-of-the-art and built for accuracy. Metroll is first in fencing and Blue Scope Colorbond steel roofing and rainwater products. Proudly local and with better service, better advice, better building solutions. Talk to Metroll Ballarat, 20 Wiltshire Lane, Delacombe.
Do you look just like your mum? Or know someone who's basically their mum's twin? This Mother's Day, 3PA is on the hunt for those undeniable genes, those mini-me's. Upload a photo of you and your mum for your chance to win big. A $200 spa voucher, $200 to spend at Stems Flower Market, plus a Fernwood 12-month reformer and infrared sauna membership valued at $3,000. Thanks to Fernwood, supporting women's health, fitness and well-being, all under one roof, 24/7. So if you're your mum's mini-me, upload your photo now at 3pa.com.au for your chance to win.
Struggling to get a decent night's sleep? Get comfy with Bedshed Ballarat's big brand sale. Save up to half price on leading brand mattresses, including Tempur, Sealy and Sleepmaker. Whatever the size and support you need, you'll find it at up to half the price. Plus, transform your bedroom with big savings across a range of furniture. Bedshed Ballarat's up to half price big brand sale. Limited time only, T's and C's apply. Bedshed, no one's better in the bedroom.
Won't stop till we're legends.
Now it's back to McDonald's BFNL action, thanks to our number one ticket holder, D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Windaree, you're never too far from a D2E. This is 3BA Football.
Welcome back to 3BA, Footy's home ground, thanks to D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Windaree, you're never too far from a D2E. Wins before the bounce, thanks to Stem Flower Market, make every day special. And thanks to our good friends at Stems, our man Sam Trez's going to catch up with a legend of the Sebastopol Football Club, Sammy.
I've got a legend, Sam. Chris Parker joins us here at Boundary Side. Chris, welcome to 3BA. Now, it's a beautiful night tonight, Sebastopol versus Redan. Of course, you are a former coach and president. What are you most looking forward to Saturday night footy tonight under lights?
Well, just such a beautiful night for football. I think two traditional Ballarat-based teams and beautiful night for football should be fantastic.
Sebastopol have obviously recruited quite heavily from St Joey's over the off-season, a powerhouse in the GFL, Joel Edwards, Jack Buckley, and also Felix Henderson. Can you tell us a little bit about them and how they ended up getting to the club?
Yeah, well, it was a bit of a snowball effect. Felix was the first one to get across the line, and then sort of one thing led to the other, and then Jack and Jake come along. But yeah, they're three fantastic players. They've certainly added a lot to the side. They're really good to watch.
Parks, Sam Young, the boxing mate. Thanks for joining us here on 3BA Footy's home ground. We're actually on air talking a little bit about the Lakers early in the program, and we used Sebas as a talking point. Now, you were obviously president for a long period of time, and I referenced the 08 to 2017 period where the Borough, I think, only won 12 games in that period of time. But what kind of learnings can you, I guess, elaborate for our listeners at home about, you guys, from an administrational point of view, took out of that, troublesome time to now take the club moving forward? I mean, on top of the ladder, round 3 in the Ballarat Free League in 2026?
Yeah, well, it was a long time ago now, looking back, but it was a slow process to get the club back up from where it was. But there's a lot of things that fell into place. Certainly Shane Snipson coming on board as coach was one of the early real positive signs, and what Shane brought with him was good connections in with the North boys, and of course Tony Lockyer, an ex-junior of ours who was captain of North when the Roosters went out of business. Tony was a catalyst when he came back and brought 3 or 4 guys, Luke Keel and these guys back with him. So everything sort of fell into place, and we're really really wrapped with where the club's at the moment. It's a really vibrant place to be, and they're a great young bunch of people, so it's fantastic to be around them.
Parks, Roger Legrand, and I don't want to talk you up too much because I know you'd be embarrassed, but what you've done with the footy club over such a long period of time has been absolutely extraordinary, and full credit to you, and I'm glad you're getting to, I suppose, see some of the benefits of both you and your wife's work over many years. This Saturday night time slot, this 6 o'clock start, I know it's come about tonight because of Anzac Day, but you played one a couple of weeks ago. I reckon it's a winner looking at the crowd tonight. And I know we've got favourable weather, don't get me wrong, but is that something you would explore in years to come, particularly in the earlier part of the season?
Oh, I think so, Roger. I mean, early in the season, particularly. I mean, we all know what the Ballarat's like once we get into late May and early June, but late March, early April, we had a fantastic 2 weeks ago against East Point, and the weather was really pretty ordinary that night. So if it had been a night like tonight, it could have been even better. But there's no doubt it's a winner, and we'd be keen to play as many as we can early in the season.
Yeah, I can confirm I called that game here, Parks, and it's 100 times better here tonight than it was back in round 1 against East Point, where it was absolutely freezing on that famous balcony. But we'll let you go and wish you the best of luck for season 2026 with Sebastopol.
Yeah, no, it's certainly a better night tonight. We're looking forward to it.
Thank you very much. So thanks to our good friends at Steam's player Mark, our man Sam Treasure, grabbing Chris Parker for a quick chat about all things Sebastopol here in reserves match.
Just in case you weren't sure, that was a siren.
Yeah, reserves match just finished, guys, if you didn't know at home. Our final score was Sebastopol 14-10-94, defeated Redan 3-4-22. We're going to take a break. Thanks to our number one ticket holder, D2E Jim. You're listening to 3BA, Woody's Home Ground.
We know times are tough and balancing the family budget can be stressful. So at 3BA, we'd love to help with PT's Bill Busters. Across the month of April, simply upload a copy of a bill you'd like paid to our website, 3ba.com.au. And each Friday in the Big Show, it could be your bill selected to be busted. You've got nothing to lose and bills to be busted, so start uploading now. It's PT's Bill Busters all across April, thanks to Ballarat Security Operations, Stroud Homes Ballarat, and the station with cash to splash. 3BA.
Go Harvey Norman for 10% in bonus gift cards. Until Monday only, get 10% of your purchase price in bonus gift cards when you spend $500 or more on selected products. Shop TVs and fridges, laptops and mobiles, furniture, bedding and more. Spend $500 or more on selected products and get 10% in bonus gift cards. Best brands, best range, best prices and 10% in bonus gift cards. Hurry, offer ends Monday at Harvey Norman. Do not miss out. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply. Gift card valid for 1 month.
Cold weather is closing in on Ballarat. Be ready before it hits. Ballarat Mobile Forklifts now delivers BMF firewood while still doing all the usual work: on-site construction, pallet deliveries, truck loading, spa removals and more. Stay warm this season. Jump onto ballaratmobileforklifts.com.au. Check out all the services and follow the firewood link to order your BMF firewood. Ballarat Mobile Forklifts and BMF firewood. Warmth delivered.
When it's time to get the job done, make it easy, make it effective. Talk to Metrol. Metrol manufactures and supplies high-quality steel roofing, fencing and building products built tough for Aussie conditions. Need fencing? Trust the experts. Choose from a huge range of BlueScope colour bond panels, profiles and colours. Proudly local and with better service, better advice, better building solutions, you're in good hands. Metrol Ballarat, 20 Wiltshire Lane, Delacombe.
Being a soldier was my whole life. I didn't realise just how hard it would be to transition to civilian life. I ended up couch surfing for a bit and living out of my van. That's when I met Tio from the RSL. They helped me find a place and get back on my feet.
Support veterans and their families. Donate today. anzacappeal.com.au.
Tonight, Tats Lotto is an estimated $6 million. Hurry, grab an entry now. Wouldn't it be nice?
Gamble responsibly. Gamblers Help 1-800-858-858.
Cheer on the Ballarat Miners and be part of the NBL 1 South action as we take on Keilor tonight and Frankston tomorrow at Selkirk Stadium. Tonight, the Ballarat Miners women hit the court from 5:30 p.m. and the men from 7:30 p.m. brought to you by Selkirk. Then tomorrow, the action starts from 12 p.m. thanks to Power FM. If you want to watch action-packed basketball, tickets are on sale now from tickettech.com.au or at the door. Let's fill Selkirk Stadium. We are Ballarat.
The 40 Winks Mates Rate sale is on now. Mates Rates? Yep. Sign up as a 40 Winks member and get up to 50% off mattresses and up to 30% off furniture.
Sounds like 40 Winks has our back.
They sure do, with top brands and exclusive products. And it's free to join. With over 100 locally owned and operated stores across Australia, 40 Winks is serious about sleep.
Limited time only. Terms, conditions and exclusions apply.
40 Winks, serious about sleep.
Visit your locally owned and operated 40 Winks store at 121 Learmonth Road, Wendouree.
Choosing a secondary school is one of the most important decisions your family will make. At Damascus College, we believe in educating the whole person within a welcoming Catholic community. Join us for our open night on Thursday, 30 April from 4:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. Experience tours, displays, demonstrations and presentations, meet our students and staff and explore the opportunities available. Register today at damascus.vic.edu.au and see what Damascus could mean for your child's future.
Want to boost your health, feel fitter and make a difference to sick kids? Join Starlight's Super Steps Challenge and walk 10,000 steps a day in May. Every step you take will help make hospital a
Home to Wendouree, you're never too far from a D2E. This is 3BA Football.
Welcome back to 3BA, Footy's home ground. Thanks to D2E Gym. From Delacombe to Wendouree, you're never too far from a D2E. As we're going to go straight down to the ground, as is, of course, Anzac Day, and Sebastopol holding their Anzac Day proceedings here at the beautiful Barty Bush Reserve.
It's a pleasure to have Kevin Scott from the Sebastopol RSL club here today. I'm going to hand it over to Kevin.
Just a few formalities still to go through here, but we are almost ready to get started here at the Barty Bush Reserve for the Anzac Day proceedings here. As of all players, A-grade netball and reserves are lined up.
Hundred-odd players, the umpires all out there together.
Representative from the armed services by the looks of it too.
Yep.
Seems we're having a few audio issues, unfortunately, down at the ground level, but we're trying to see if we can work that out. But yeah, great to see everyone is lined up here to pay respects to our fallen diggers.
Netball is part of it as well, and that's just what we were talking about earlier in terms of that club connection amongst the Bass.
Spine-tingling stuff. Thank you, Ian. As Steve's master of ceremonies gets us underway. But back here, we're at the Marnie Bush Reserve, of course. It is Sebastopol taking on Redan. Round 3 action in the Ballarat Football Netball League. Brad McGowan for One Life Insurance. I want to hear your thoughts on the contest this afternoon, what you're expecting to see, and who maybe we can keep a close eye on to today for the Sporting Globe Player of the Day.
Yeah, righto, Sammy. And even just before I get to that, just to add to the picture, there is so many people here everywhere. Yep. There is at least 2, if not 3 rows of cars right around the ground. Wonderful atmosphere. So if you're not doing anything, get along to the Marnie Bush Reserve today, because we've got a fantastic game of footy here ahead of us. Well, Sebas have started 2-0. They're on top of the ladder. And looking really good. They're a team that is sort of from 3rd to 6th in most of the stat categories, 3rd in total possessions and handballs. They're number 1 from throw-in clearances, and they're just a well-coached team. Tony Lockyer and his coaching crew, including Shane Snipson, they're just really good at taking away the opposition's strength. And we talked about Alex Keith. We called Alex Keith for Ballarat in the first game, and he controlled the game from centre-half back. Well, against North Ballarat. But Sebas were really good at saying, no, we're going to play a defensive forward on you. You're not going to have an influence. And you would have seen boys didn't get in the best, didn't have much of the ball, etc. They're also really good at just locking down the opposition's best players. And so one of their strengths is their coaching. But also, it's these 3 new players that have been mentioned already. But I just need to highlight. Felix Henderson comes in. He's a smooth-moving inside midfielder, tall left footer, averaging 31 possessions per game, 9 clearances. And boys, he's come in as one of the better players in the competition from St Joey's. And like if you pick the team of the year right now, he would definitely be in that team. Another player that's a real star is Jack Buckley at centre-half back. And he's not necessarily key defender tall. He's more sort of third tall height. But he's really creative in his run and carry. He's the sort of player that marks the ball at centre-half back, kicks it into the middle of the ground, hits the hard kick, then goes past, gets it again, gets another kick. He just gets multiple possessions, and they're also attacking. So those 2 are absolute stars of the competition who are setting up scores. Add to that Jack Bramby, Toby Hutt, Luke Keel. They've just got this abundance of players in this Sebas side, and they're having a bit more luck with injury this year, boys.
Yeah, it's definitely made a difference. I mean, probably realistically out of their best 22, and at the minute they're probably missing only Bailey Medwell and Lockie Cassidy. You definitely obviously find a spot for those 2 superstars. I think they're pretty much close to as full strength as they can be going into this one against Redan, who on the flip side, Brad, are not in the same position whatsoever.
No, that's right. We heard Mark Gregg, coach of Redan, mention earlier that Jacob Wirtz, who missed all last year, he's their captain and key defender. He somehow broke his finger and his toe in the same game in round 1 and still isn't back from that. And Brodie Pope chopped the end of his thumb off on a drop saw midweek. And Brodie Pope's the big loss, boys. Like, he's been averaging 12 clearances per game. and over 30 possessions. He's just racking up the football constantly as an inside mid. He's a real leader of that group, so I think he's a huge loss, as is Lockie Bond, who got the 3-week suspension after he was involved in a late hit at a marking contest, concussed the player that he hit. And so Lockie Bond, their full forward, their leading goal kicker, is going to be a massive miss for them, plus Geordie Grant. So those four in particular, pretty significant outs for what is a young and inexperienced Redan side.
Yeah, you're certainly right. You just can't replace those hundreds of games of footy experience that they have, playing at senior footy. Whereas, Sebastopol, as I said, they've got a nice nucleus of mixed of young and old. When you bring in the 3 guys from the St. Joey's footy factory that straighten them up in all 3 lines. Henderson particularly, you look at him and think, he's a good outside player, but his inside numbers this year have been impressive on a small sample size. But it's number 2 in the comp percent of clearances at 4.5, number 3 in clearances overall. He's 3rd in disposals. He's number 1 for loose ball gets in the competition as well. So what that tells me, he's a guy that can get on the outside, use it well, but also he's not afraid to get his own footy maker.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just from Redan's point of view, they've still got plenty of star players. Like Rory Gunser is a fantastic ball user off half-back, racks up the footy, is involved in the Geelong VFL program. So Gunser for Redan will be a really important player. We've already spoken about Taj Bond, the young developing key forward / ruck. He kicked 5 goals for Redan. Each time we've called him over the last couple of years, he's done some really special things. We think he's certainly a star of the future, if not star of today here in the Ballarat Football League, but maybe a higher level beckons. Harry Lawson's the sort of player that you just want to play with, makes you walk tall because of his effort. Someone like Liam Hoyle will do the same. Ollie Pittard's a really exciting young outside player, winger, half forward who'll kick goals today and do some special things. Grant Bell's that sort of clever forward. So they've got plenty of up-and-coming young players in this side and a bit of experience to go along with them. It's just whether they can match it with Sebas, who have sort of been developing and are probably that 2 or 3 years ahead in terms of development.
You can say that even if you would never seen a game of Ballarat football tonight and you arrived now and you looked at the 2 teams as they warm up on the ground.
Yeah.
Look at the noticeable body size difference in Sebastopol as opposed to Redan. And that can mean, Redan has got some smaller quick players, don't get me wrong, but just body size, and you take out probably the one bloke that can compete on that level in Hope.
Yeah.
And it puts a lot of pressure on Gunser and some of those other strong users of the ball who can keep their head over the footy and win it to win those clearances, and that might be the difference.
Particularly when you lose someone like Lockie George, who would have been a guy that would have gone on the inside as an inside mid.
Yep.
He's a loss for them. So they're going to find it hard today to win enough clearances, I think.
Do they flirt with the idea of a guy like Rory Gunser going inside?
Yeah.
I think that's. I know. You look at it probably was trying to do the VFL program with Geelong as well. It's very much outside dominance. But predominant. But maybe tonight's an opportunity where they go, well, we're a little bit short in that area. I know Greggy in the pre-game, mentioned that he really likes young Cole Hutchinson. Only his second game here for a 17-year-old. He's tough as nails, but that's a massive task to go head-to-head against the likes of Henderson,
Keel,
who have got some really quality football years behind them. I think
Banbury's been a superstar,
averaging 30 disposals a game this season. I feel like you're just throwing a kid to the wolves there. That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
I think if Liam Hoy was capable as well, especially at the start and end quarters, I would just say to him as well, just have a body around there. But I just worry that they could get just absolutely slaughtered tonight.
Well, I think, as you said, Brad McGowan, they need to get him on the outside. If Redan are going to win this game, they need to get it on the outside. That's where they win it.
Yeah, I agree. So you would be talking to your rucks and saying, hey, can you hit the ball to the outside as much as possible to try and get it out there? But, they don't necessarily have that one big-bodied mid in there. But they do have plenty of speed on the outside, so that'll be their own.
Sammy Treasure's been able to get out and immerse themselves in the Marty Bush Reserve's ground conditions. Sammy, what do you think of conditions tonight at the Marty Bush Reserve?
It's beautiful here at the Marty Bush Reserve. The night sky is upon us here at Sebastopol. I can't even really comment anymore, gents. There's not even a zephyr of wind, so should be an absolutely brilliant night for footy.
Can you give me a tip though, Sammy? Who do you think wins this one and why?
I think Sebastopol just get over the lines. I mean, I've really liked their 3 recruits from Joey's. Obviously, Felix Henderson had 36 last week, a massive impact. And I just think they're playing some good footy to start the year.
Sammy T, one of the things that can change environmentally wise at night is that it can get a little bit slippery. I don't think it is slippery at all out there. Can you tell us that?
No, it's not slippery,
so
Brad.
There's no sort of dew. All right, so we should be able to play a really high-level game of footy. here tonight, so that's great to hear.
It's good to see the players are now making their way into position. Looks like Sebastopol will be kicking to the slightly favoured end, the Velodrome end, if there's any end tonight. But as Sammy Treasure mentioned, it's pretty much picture perfect here tonight at the Marty Bush Reserve. Brad McGowan, who do you think this one who wins this one tonight in your humble opinion?
I think Sebastopol would be favourite by, say, 4 goals. So I'll go with that, young.
Roger LeGrand?
Yeah, I'm with Sebastopol.
I've got Sebastopol by 40 plus personally. I just think Redan on the out front, too much cattle to cover. However, they have a good record against the Borough, and I wouldn't be surprised if Mark Gregg still got some more tricks up his sleeve. He's had a fantastic start as coach in the Ballarat Footy League. He pushed Sunbury to the limit last week. He knocked off Lake Winder in his first time out. Can he impress us under lights as coach of the Redan Football Club? Players in position, we're in position, and we're ready to go here at the Marty Bush Reserve. Brad McGowan.
So it's Harry Lawson for Redan who's gone inside. Now, as we said, he's the sort of player you do walk taller to have around there. He tackles, he puts elite pressure on. He generally does that as a forward. He's played a lot of good Rebels footy. He's a high accomplished footballer.
Daniel Bond in there as well. There's a slightly bigger body.
Yep.
Lockie McLean on a wing as well. That's a strange one for me. But I guess getting the experienced players around, I don't mind it. Just little things that we probably didn't expect from a starting point of view here tonight. As it's round 3 action, it's Sebastopol taking on Redan. Hutt versus Bond, and we're ready to go here under the beautiful night lights. Hutt will try to get the first knockdown. In the end, he just tried to rush it forward for Sebastopol. Left foot kick towards half forward. Bouncing ball will work it. Okay. Hurry kick from Little Hales going to the pocket for the Borough. They're trying to keep it alive. There's the dangerous and creative Forbes. Ball very close to the boundary line. Sebastopol trying to keep it alive and create a chance. In the end, umpires picked their free kick going the way of Redan as they'll be able to exit defensive 50.
Interesting to see whether Redan play that switch game, Brad McGowan. They've got it over in that back pocket, or do they kind of play it safe and go down the line? In the end, they're going to come through the middle of the ground, quite dangerously, I must say. Sebastopol player went to ground at the crucial time, which allowed Batruni to come through. Got a handball back in the direction of Rory Bell. His kick is a poor one, turned over in the middle of the ground. Sebas with the numbers, and it's that man Buckley. He drives long towards full forward. Pack will fly through the hands of Minari. Ball goes to ground. Forbes is in there trying to collect the footy. He almost fought with a teammate in the end, and looks like the umpire is going to come in and ball the ball up in the forward pocket. Velodrome end. 1 behind Sebastopol. Redan yet to score on the Metro scoreboard.
Sebastopol very attacking with their ball movement, straight down the middle. And hey, we talked about some of Sebastopol's better players. We didn't mention Forber, the leading goal kicker in the competition, already poised.
The human highlight reel. That's his own nickname. Back on the way inside 50 here for the Borough. Opportunity coming through there was Buckley trying to create some havoc on there. I think high kick will exit in his direction. Should be marked, and it is by Sebastopol as they can repel inside 50. Hummelhoff, the left foot kick, will hit the hot spot. Minari the fly, his arms chopped. Yes, says the umpire. Try and goal coming up for Sebastopol.
Actually took him quite high, I thought, with that arm swing. He's a bit groggy getting up, Brad McGowan.
He is. Just interestingly, again, the Sebastopol movement, just aggressively back through the corridor, not mucking around, getting it to an attacking position where they're far more likely to score from.
So it's Joel Edwards, 35 metres down on a 45-degree angle. He's got 3 goals in 2 games. He's
nice size, isn't he?
He is a good size. One thing he has that issue though is putting him between the big sticks. Ranked 2 on the comp for behind. Not to put on the mocker on him early, but he has struggled to do this. Can he start his night well? Right foot kicks on its way. Oh, it's perfect. And the first blood goes the way of Sebastopol. They move on the Metro scoreboard 1-1-7. So Redan yet to score.
Redan haven't had the ball inside their forward half yet. Sebastopol have been very good defensively as well. Like Roger, you mentioned, hey, can Redan switch the ball? They just couldn't because Sebastopol had really good positioning that meant that Redan had to take a risk. They were one-on-one all over the field. They tried to go through the middle and just in the end couldn't move the ball out of their back line. So well done to Sebastopol early on.
So the first goal of the night going the way of the Borough in front of a big crowd here at Marty Bush on 3BA for D2E Gyms. Ruck's back underway. Strong hit out from Bond from Redan. Ball goes to ground and looks like it's going to force a repeat stoppage. So as Brad McGowan indicated pre-game, 2 and 3 cars back on the fence level on the outer side of the ground here. Play back underway. Up by Batruni. Got it back to Big Taj Bond and a big shot at goal from outside 50. Is it coming back enough? I didn't know big men could kick like that. What a great goal. Ask Bond. All 200 centimetres of him took the ball in the middle and straight to the high little.
Well, we talked about how exciting this kid. He was in the ruck, taps it forward, he hit it, say, 10 metres forward. It went to a mid-forward player who picked it up, and the fastest bloke to lead the stoppage was the bloke that won the tap. Bond just charged past everyone, got to the top of 50 and went bang.
Great response by Redan, and check out the highlight reel throughout the week. I reckon that will feature Taj Bond doing it all himself. The human pencil levels the scores here on the Metro scoreboard. As we're back underway, Bond has gone forward, so Hutt has the advantage in the ruck, but only knocked it as far as Lawson as Redan come through the stoppage with the right foot kick to half forward. It's a good kick, too. Mark taken by Kaleo. He'll play on immediately and thump it forward in towards the draft's direction. Here comes Bond! He did everything but hold on to the end. A good piece of it, boys, but umpire let him down and didn't pay the mark.
Well, he's got a significant height advantage. He'd have nearly a foot on his opponent, and gee, I thought he did take that in the end.
Yeah, I thought he had a good piece. Bad luck. Keel with the hand pass. Got it towards Hutt, and in the end he's walked over the line, and we'll get a ball in 35 metres out inside forward 50 for Redan.
1 goal apiece on the Metro scoreboard. We've played nearly 5 minutes in this first quarter. Under lights at Marty Bush Reserve. Ball comes back into play. Bond doing the ruck work in the forward line for Redan. Shark by the Sebast defence. Buckley it was, kicked long in the direction of Barker.
Oh.
Edwards went back courageously, and I thought Barker was unlucky not to get a free kick in the circumstances. Umpire said no, play on. Ball spills to ground. Contested ball situation. It looks like Redan walked through. Gunser will win the ball, but the boundary line bit him and it's spilled over. A bit of a scuffle breaks out in front of the Sebastopol box there. Brad, what do you think of, should have been a free kick to Barker on the wing there?
I think he might have just been, the player that flew may have just been able to touch the ball, but I tell you what it did, it got everyone up and about, didn't it? The rest of the players then went, hey, if that's the standard, I've got to be part of it.
True centre wing broadcast side, one down by Hutt. From Toby down to Ben, and Ben's high up under kick, will be paid the mark. Umpire waits to play on, as Redan have numbers at the full pack, and that's a handball that's was a touch. It'll be a question. It was touched, so it won't be a lasso free kick. We'll get a boundary throw, and I think Sebas had a case to say, well, was there a fingertip on it or not? We should have a free kick, but they don't. Taken inside centre wing, though. We'll get a ball in. Hutt in the ruck in front. Takes position. Beats Cruiseradas to it, but quick kick coming forward there from Redan was good by McKay. Just a dribbling ball towards the half-forward line. Lockyer. Hand pass towards O'Shea. First game of 2026. Kicked about 3 metres to no one. And in the end, slapped out of bounds by the young Cole Hutchison in game 2 of senior footy for him. He's seen it out of bounds.
So young Ben Crellin doing the second rucking, I suppose you'd say. Mac, a big ask for him against the experienced Toby Hutt, giving away a bit of height too.
Yes, he was full forward at my school team last year. I never thought of him as a ruck, but here he is at senior footy.
And he won the head out too, which is fantastic, and went down in the way of a teammate in Hutchinson. Ball spills to ground, strong tackle. Could have been a free kick to Sebastopol. The umpire called play on. Ball comes back to the experienced Keel. Beautiful handball over to Fletcher. His handball missed the target. Keel goes back in to try and win it for Sebastopol. Strong body contact on the line, and Gunser cleans up Redan. Could have been a high free kick, and the ball spills out of play right in front of the Sebastopol bench here at Marty Bush Reserve.
It was off feet, so the umpire said lasso free kick way of Redan, and they retreat back in the direction of Lawson. Wants to switch towards the outside. Kick's quality good. Starting a bit there for the end. It's the down. That's on the rebound for the corridor. By Edwards. Right up the pace. Looks to set it up. Good kick, but in the end, getting back to Paul's best. Another fine target. Redan intercept in the very defensive 50 to play 7 minutes to go into the Metro score rate of 1 goal apiece. Start 6. So go towards the outside. In the night sky. Redan will build it up towards centering on the outside. Watching him cruise around it. Brings to the ground. Up here to Harder. Run back to the bounce. Back second bounce. Streams inside 50. Lights up the goal. Let's go the night. Wonderful finish. Next celebration. 2 goals to Redan. Definitely 2. Goals straight 12. 2 Sebastopol goals straight 6. But we talked about the guys speed and ball usage before the game. That's a beautiful example there. He's nudged. He was on centre wing, as you mentioned. He just read the ball out of his opponent and nudged him under it. Ran onto it. 2 bounces and a goal. He's the sort of survivor machine that can do that all day. We've said that for Redan. They're going to do in this game, and to use the ball on the outside. That's a classic example. And even though Sebastopol double tries to switch him, Redan has switched the last 2 times and got the ball inside 50. Now
that part of the night where we get some interesting program called cash. So Tommy Richard's got a draw out of date down here. Yeah, they can give it that. Can I have Jack Lowe out here for 5K cash? Oh, Jack, alright. These are young bar boys, 2 weeks in a row. Hopefully you can do better than the dad, Jack.
Commentary is not working.
Hold it. Are you sure you're ready to go, Jack? Alright, go for it. Oh. Alright, Adam, you're going to do another crack or Alright, Jack, one more go. No pressure.
Go, Jack, again!
Alright, right, so you can cross pin. Alright, let's go, Jack. 5K.
Come on, Jackie!
Alright, Jack. Well done on behalf of Playboy Bowl. Nice, fresh fish, $1 note foil, well done. The next tips and cash will be 3 weeks' time against Darley. So remember to buy your tickets from the bar in 3 weeks' time. Go to bar.
Jack, you saw!
exactly.